This podcast is for entertainment, education, and inspirational purposes only. Nothing in this podcast is diagnostic or direct medical advice and does not establish a practitioner-patient relationship. Seek care from a highly trained medical provider for your healthcare concerns. Yinspired is dedicated to all the grandmothers, aunties, and mothers whose voices weren't heard or listened to. Created for the daughters. Aloha, and welcome back to Yinspired, a podcast celebrating different perspectives in Chinese medicine and integrative medicine. Here, we have casual conversations with everyday practitioners, patients, and students exploring the messy truths of medicine, healing, and life. I'm your host, Dr. Haunani Chong Drake, a clinical doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, a cultural practitioner and steward, mom, dog mama, and military spouse. I'm very excited to share with you this conversation, this very casual conversation with Luna Williams, who is a student of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I've known Luna for many years before she even started her postgraduate education in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And it was really nice to sit down with her now that she's started the program and catch up and learn about what she's going through, what surprises she's had as a student, and also to hear how her understanding of healing and medicine has evolved through her education. For those of you who've always wondered what it's like to go through acupuncture and Chinese medicine school, I hope you find this conversation a little revealing, but also remembering that one person's perspective and one person's journey is not reflective of everyone's. Anyway, gather around, grab your favorite beverage, or head out for a walk. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
It's even crazier what I hear in just going to the doctors here in San Diego. They're really removed from anything naturopathic, very removed from it. And it's a place where people are looking for all types of natural healing medicine, getting back to earth, all that. And they are just completely removed. I think they intentionally desensitize them. The doctors and medical staff. Yeah. I feel like they're desensitized. It's odd. Cause I just had a doctor's appointment a couple days ago. So I was like, the whole time when I had a woman, doctor, and when she was talking to me, I was just like, wow, this is what you're saying to your patients. The whole time I was just thinking about it from the Chinese medicine perspective. It's completely opposite of everything I've learned so far. And I'm like, okay, she's just going based on just like symptoms and then throwing something out. And I'm like, I'm trying to explain to you who I am and my patterns. And you're like, no.
It's just flying right over her head.
And she just kept trying to convince me that she works with women. And like, I'm not trying to say like Western medicine is definitely needed, but I think the day-to-day health should be Eastern medicine. Yeah.
Tell
and
us
then
why?
like, because daily health is things that you can do that's not you just going to the extreme of just going to go get a pill. It's just small changes that do huge things to your like whole health in general. And the reason why I even went to PCOM initially to even go, because I was thinking about massage school, but once I heard it from I used to drive Uber, and I heard this from a ear, nose, and throat surgeon. Drunk, picked him up late night. And they used to just tell me stuff as I would drive them. He told me, he was like, honestly, like 70% of the surgeries I do is not needed. But I'm going to get 50K. So I'm going to do it. And he was like, if people would see like massage therapists, like different naturopath things, they could fix this with just small lifestyle changes. But you want it to fix right now. And I want this money. So we're going to do this. And he's like, it's the recovery that people don't think about. And that's what messes people up. It's not the procedure. It's all the stuff that you have to do, all the stuff you have to take to recover from doing something like that to your body is what harms people, and they never get better.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa, just thinking about that. I was like, oh my gosh, really? But it makes sense. It makes sense that but people, our culture specifically want a quick fix so they can move on to something. They don't wanna have to change what they do on a daily basis.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. Did you grow up in a family where you have self-care, preventative care, natural health?
No, not really at all. Not really. My mom went to the regular doctors. We didn't really do, like, naturopathic things. It was just like, "You have a headache, take a pill." Like, things happen. That's it. I didn't really learn about that until I moved to the West Coast. And then I was like, "Oh, wow, there's, like, different remedies." Like, I've heard of remedies because my parents are African, and you hear of things, but it wasn't embedded in us growing up. So I didn't know how to do a lot of things, and I was just relying on pills to help me when I feel like so many things could have changed if I would have started naturopathically from a young age.
Yeah, if you had had natural or non-pharmaceutical options.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what was it? What happened? You didn't move out west though for to start school. So something brought you
no,
out to the West
I
Coast.
didn't wanna be in the East Coast anymore. I didn't wanna be cold anymore.
Got it. So once you moved out to California, you're exposed to all these different ways of thinking, seeing, taking care of your body. At what point do you realize this is my path? Like, this is what I'm going to actually spend my time and resources getting
Mm,
education in?
when I graduated from massage school and saw people having experiences with my touch and saw how people were responding to my treatments. Before I even got here, I went to college in Philadelphia. If you've ever been there, it's like a concrete jungle type of it makes your nervous system out of whack. Like you're always on edge there. So when you come here, the lifestyle change initially, even though San Diego's a city, like it's still so close to, I guess, water, and that's so important to be around. And it just changes your perspective on a lot of things. So when I got here, I didn't even like people to touch me. Just because in Philly somebody touches you, it's not a good thing. Like, it could be something gross or it could be something aggressive. Like, it just so massage school helped me realize how healing touch was and how energetic it is to even have somebody hug you or hold your hand. It does like so many healing things for you that you don't even see. And that just kind of like, whoa, that kind of blew my mind a little bit because I've never been taught to think that way. I've just been like, "Okay, problem, solution." That type of thing, like, we just solve this issue and that's it. It's never been like, "Oh, there's multiple ways." Just small things can make huge differences in time, and I think that's what being here teaches you. Like, there's no rush in this life. It's just every day if you change a small thing that's, like, keeping you from thriving in a healthy way, it'll just one day you'll wake up and you're like, "Wow, my life is so beautiful and, like, I'm healthy and I feel good, and I didn't even spend any money to do this." It's interesting to see the differences from east to west. That makes a difference, yeah.
Well, it makes sense to me because I've lived it and seen it too. But I think people who haven't experienced that might mean like you just don't know what you don't know.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
You can see it on a movie or a show, but then you're like, "Yeah, but that's a movie or a show." It's easy to talk yourself out of it that people actually live
And it
that
seems
way.
so unattainable, and people still like, "Oh, you live in, like, weird loop." I'm like, "No, I'm existing the same plane you are." It's just it seems like I'm just doing whimsical random things all day, and it seems like you're just at work, but I'm also at work. It's just I see it differently.
Yeah. So mindset becomes a big,
Mhm.
and I know that about you, but it's more than just the little things we can do, our habits, the foods we eat, the things we take in our body, like those things that people really attribute to self care. The little things can make powerful shifts
Yeah,
long term. But you're
yeah.
also saying there's that mindset piece that can often get ignored or it's harder to see because it's inside our own inner chatter, our own inner perspective. So did that shift for you, or have you always been this very intentional, energetic person?
That shifted for me. I feel like I have deep inside, but it was hindered with all the social stuff that we're just trained to know, and I had to remove those layers to get to who I am. 'Cause from how I grew up, it was always, like, people pleasing, just trying to do what somebody told you to do, live your life this way because that's how your family did it, and things like that. So I really had to let myself realize that I could do and live the way I wanted to, and there would be no consequences for it. Like, you're not gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? And I don't as especially as an immigrant child, you always feel like you're gonna get in trouble because you're always ready to get in trouble growing up. So if you're not doing what it's like your life is supposed to look like in their eyes, it's like, whoa, like, how dare you? So that part, I had to realize that, like, I don't care at this No, I'm gonna do exactly what I want to do. I'm gonna live the life that I want, and I'm not gonna be stressed out worrying about what somebody else is gonna think. And it's great, I feel free. So, just that small it was uncomfortable to, like, that away, but once you did it, it's like a blissful experience, and it's like, how did I ever live under that?
Every immigrant family is different, right? And your family comes from a unique place in the world from other people, but is it hard on them? Like, are you still in touch with them? Do you still have a good relationship with your family? Or did you have to kind of cut the cords in some way?
I had cut the cord with some of them, and some of them I'm really close. They're just like, she's in her own world, like, just leave her alone. So I realized that they don't take me seriously,
Oh.
but it doesn't offend me because I realize that means that I'm living the way I want. It does, it really does. And my family sees your job and career as your who you are, and not who you are is who you are. And I can't deal with it. So that's why I live so far away. But I love them, but it's just I have to do it my way.
Yeah. Well, the liberation piece that you're talking about, you keep saying that, like, I'm so free.
Mhm.
I mean, how many other people out there are doing a job or a career or anything, a hobby, because they think it's going to get them approval or be loved or known or for another reason
Or it's
outside
just
of
what society where we're supposed to be doing.
right. So like that truly is liberation when you're doing it for yourself because you know this is what makes you feel alive and free. It's
Mhm.
not for someone else. It's not for the approval of parents. It's not for because the ancestors are gonna come into my dreams and bother me. You know, like whatever that we all have different things, but it like you truly are coming from a place of it doesn't matter what they think. I'm free.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like the world life is structured like what we've created is structured for suffering here in this world. Like everybody's struggling. There's always something going on. And when you think about it, like we were gonna be here. You have to be here. You weren't asked to be here, but you're here. So I'm gonna have a life of ease. I'm not here to suffer. I'm not suffering with anybody. So anything that seems like suffering in my eyes is a no. Because if I'm gonna be here and we have to be here, I'm gonna have enjoy it. Like, why would you suffer and then die? That sucks. It really does. So if you can see that and like really see that, it changes your life.
Yeah, I'm so happy we're having this conversation. I think we're gonna have to just take a moment and kind of reverse because we didn't even introduce you yet. But let's put a pause in it just for a moment for listeners who don't know you. Who are you? Where are you? What are you doing these days?
I'm Luna, and that's all I go by, just Luna. And right now, I'm doing so much, but everything that I'm doing is amazing. And it's exactly how I manifested it in my head. And that's what's incredible. Right now, I'm in school for cosmetic acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And I'm about 2 years in there. I think I have like two and a half left, maybe three. We'll see how it goes. But the journey of it has been exciting. It's really been exciting to see how my mind has been opening to absorb this information. And I'm a girl's girl. I'm a woman's woman. So what I do is when I'm not at school, which is taking like 70% of my life, the other 30% I fit my business and all the stuff that I do, but I am a luxury wellness consultant, and all my clients are women, and I've been working with women for the last 7 years in San Diego and in LA and in Vegas. So I've just been up and down the West Coast, and I do body therapy, I do Reiki, I do meditation, I teach breath work. Own a wellness concierge business right now, and I'm trying to connect other women with therapists who are like me, solely only for women, and the practitioners are all women, so that we can build ourselves up that way. Because a lot of my clients are people who are in very stressful, high-end jobs. These are, like, mothers plus women, and if they have time that they don't need to go somewhere to go do something, and I bring the service in their home, in their safe space, where after I'm done, they can literally just go lay down or get in the tub or just do anything. And it just adds to the whole experience that they have this time for themselves to really relax their nervous system. And that's so important to me. And that's why I started my wellness concierge business, because I want women to have that. And I think it's so important. And minus the whole business thing, if you know you have like your time, 2 hours on Friday just for you and nobody else, and you get to feel however you want to feel and do whatever type of energy, anything that you want to do, it changes your whole week. Like it really does. And I want to just push that type of energy out there. And then also I do confidence coaching. So I built a confidence course. It's called the Divine Confidence Experience, and it teaches you how to confidently regulate your nervous system as a woman. Yeah, so the thing is I don't have actual time right now to work one-on-one with anybody, so I haven't, like, pushed it as much as I wanted to. I've worked with a few women just to, like, test it and run through, and it's been very successful. I've even done it myself, and it really changes how you can regulate yourself and keep the stress that we go through. Because imagine a woman, you have stress from life, stress from men, and then stress from your hormones and just life in general. All that together can really mess up your nervous system. And that's how we get autoimmune diseases. And so many women are just dying based on just stress. That's it. Just because they're so stressed out and they don't know how to have time to regulate it and continue. You're just building up stress, and that will kill you. And it's blunt to say, but it's true. It will just kill you. I've seen it, and it's sad. And it's like you work so hard for what? Just to die because you stress yourself out to that point. So this course, it's only 6 weeks, but it's amazing. And I can't wait till I have the time to like really get into it. I would love to share it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to share it too, because I can see even from my side of, just on the other side of acupuncture school and being in practice, I see this all the time clinically, right? The
Mhm.
autoimmune. And statistically, it's of people diagnosed with autoimmune disease, 70 to 80% are female or women. That's insane to me. That is that like that makes me so that fuels my fire in a way
Really does.
that makes me really move into action. Like, I have to channel that. And so I have clinically to find answers and solutions, but I had never actually thought about the piece of confidence.
Mhm.
But the minute you said that, a light bulb went off in my head because you can know all the tools, right? Know to get a massage, you have your acupuncturist, you do your breath work, you make have your chi cultivating practice, tai chi, yoga, whatever it is. You can have all these tools and it makes you feel good for a moment in time, but
Yeah.
if you don't have that mindset or that confidence, it's almost like we're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time we do
Mhm.
one of those practices, and for some people, it's at 0, right? Where we're
Yeah.
just doing these things to make ourselves feel good, and we're not actually moving into a place where our nervous system stays regulated.
Mhm.
What made you realize there was that confidence piece to this whole women's health puzzle that all of us are trying to figure out?
Yeah, I think the confidence came from having the audacity to take your nervous system into your own hands and not let all the energy outside do it. You really have to take control of your life in that way. And I think that's where I was like, you have to have confidence to do this. it took me a year to regulate my nervous system, and I went on a journey. I went on a deep meditative journey. I used to meditate for hours every day, and I was like, "Something is missing. I'm presenting in a certain way, but I don't feel it." And I can still feel like I'm erratic inside. I'm just like, something needs to come out where if I'm in these situations, I have the confidence to like regulate myself so I'm not being so affected by the outside environment. And that came from trauma. That came from me experiencing trauma just out here with other people. And I was like, I can't keep being triggered when I'm out because I'm going to need to be out. And so I need to figure out how I can protect myself from other people stressing me to the point where I'm getting sick and then be able to keep that. So whenever I go out, I can observe things without it affecting me and shaking my nervous system up.
This is a story a lot of listeners are going to resonate with because wellness culture sells us all the tools. Like, just do this and you'll feel better. Yeah. So this program, you said it's a 6-week program. You're not really doing it right now because school's a lot. I mean, school
Yeah,
is
it's a lot, it's a
60
lot.
hours a week. People don't realize that, you know? So I get
Yeah,
that. But please know from the practitioner side, from me, like just the way that I see the world, that's going to come in handy. You are going to come back at some point when you have the capacity, when you have the time. And that
mhm,
is such an important part of the healing journey. Like honestly, until we had this conversation, I don't think I would have put confidence on the list of like medicine, but confidence is medicine.
yeah, it's true, it's true. Just you showing up confidently in anything that you do changes the whole perspective of it, and it changes how your body responds to it, and one thing that I've learned is that whether you're aware of it or not, your body's absorbing everything that you're into, and I try to help people understand this, and it's hard to like, you know how it says, like, "Birds of a feather flock together" type of situation? If you feel like your environment is hectic, but you're not, that's it's not true. If your environment is hectic, it's affecting you. Just because you're not physically taking it in doesn't mean that your body isn't receiving it and remembering it. And that still stores into you. And especially if you've lived in such a high stress environment your whole life, the day you get to a point where it's not regulated, that's when your sickness shows up because your body's been holding on to that for so long. And then people are like, "Whoa, now that I'm not in it, all of a sudden I have like a crazy disease or something's just wrong." And it's because you put yourself and never regulated yourself from any of the chaos and trauma that you've been through building up. And we remember it because we're just absorbing things all day.
So is that when you're talking about the East Coast to the West Coast and you start going to massage school, this is when you start to have these realizations of, oh, that's when you start to have a language around the nervous system and trauma and triggers and
Ah,
activation.
I think I felt it, but I didn't know the language of it. And I didn't understand why it was important. I was like, I get it, but okay.
Right, like, I'm experiencing that, wonderful, and now what do I do with it? And so you took that initiative to learn about it, to learn the practices, to apply it and cultivate it so that you were actually making a change.
Yeah, and I always thought like, "Oh, when I make more money, if I'm more successful after I'm out of school, like things will be better." But working with high-end women, and I'm like, these people can buy anything and they live in beautiful homes and they have like the highest end cars, they have staff and they're so stressed out that they don't sleep. They're always angry, they're always on edge, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so it's not money." It's not, it's like you actually figuring out how to help yourself, and I noticed the women out here especially, there's so many things, there's yoga, Pilates, retreats, everyone's doing ayahuasca, all that, and it still doesn't do anything until you do something, like, really actually look into yourself to fix it.
Yeah, to get that lasting long-term nervous system change.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that is, kind of a I don't know if this is the right term, catch-22 of the wellness industry, or maybe it's just capitalism at its finest, where you have all these tools that really do support healing, these tools from traditional
Mhm.
medicine with, from around the world, and they're sold to us as like, if you just do it, you're gonna get better.
Yeah, yeah. They're sold to us like how prescriptions are sold to us. So it doesn't work that way. They just like, "Oh, take the Tylenol and your headache will be fine in 30 minutes." And so that's how we're looking at it instead of looking at it from a different like the Eastern standpoint of how you would look at this to help you in the future. Because we don't think about the future, we think about right now in our culture. It's just right now, and you don't realize all the stuff that you're doing now, you still have the rest of your life. You have a good 40, 50 years, and you're not gonna be able to do the things that you have now, so the work that you're doing now should be able to help you be healthy later on.
I mean, that's a good point because coming back to just idea of success or money success that people think, well, when I have the money, I'll do it.
Mhm.
Or I just had a conversation with someone recently where they are retired and they have all this money. And they're so, in their words, I'm so broken. I can't do all the travel and do all the things I thought I was going to do in retirement
Yeah,
because they just didn't prioritize their health. They put off symptoms, they ignored symptoms, they ignored these signs, and now they're at the place where they're like, "Why'd I wait? Now
yeah.
I can't do all these things I had hoped for in retirement." Has
No.
all the money in the world to do it, but just can't. And so now they're spending their time and their money in retirement trying to get answers, and it's been so long that their symptoms have just compounded, compounded, compounded. They're gonna be in this for a several year journey if they're lucky, and
Oh,
then be
yeah.
able to do the things that they want in retirement. But I see you, I hear it. I mean, I see it too.
Yeah. It's like just being outside observing that, it really kind of shifted my whole everything. I was just like mind blown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Whoa, why are we living like this?" And even after that, I still tried to go back to the regular system. Like, I started working at the government during COVID and went back and because we couldn't do massage. So, I was like, "Maybe I should just" my family was like, "You need a real job." So, I was like, "You know what? Alright, I guess I have the credentials, so I'll go get a government job," and, like, I lasted for 6 months, and one day at lunch, I just packed up my desk and I left, and I didn't say a word.
My goodness, you just knew. You're like, "This is not
I was
me."
like, I can't deal with this, like, I can't." I was waking up, getting ready to go to jail,
Wow.
and that's how I felt in that building every day, and I was just like, "No, I can't live like" and then somebody retired, and she was doing the same job I was doing for 35 years, and then they had their retirement email, and then after that, somebody was like, "Oh, would you mind on her desk?" And I just threw away all her stuff. And I was just like, "There's no way. This is your whole 35 years." And they just asked somebody random. I never met her till the day she left to clear your desk out. And then the next day it was for storage or something. And that was it. Like you just got an email and they had cupcakes. And like 35 years of you being stressed out ended at that. And it's just wow. And then I had a family friend too. She worked for like 35 years. She had the same job. She was working at, I guess it's in the East Coast called Safeway, and then it's Vons here, but she's working there for like 35 years, and like a month after she retired, she had a stroke, and then like a couple months after she passed. Like you work somewhere for 35 years, now you're getting ready to retire, and that's it. And it's crazy in my mind. Like, why would you live like that for 35 years? It doesn't make sense right now. I know we've gone a long way from how our society people are realizing now that they can do what they want more than how it used to be, where it was like you had to get this type of job and you stayed in the job forever. And that was just what people did. And now I feel like people are really seeing that this is your only life.
Yeah.
This is it. And those years go by fast. So
Mm.
what are you doing to make sure that you're gonna thrive here? Because you have to be here, so make it count, and I believe if you feel like you don't have to be here and you wanna leave early, you can, but you'll be back. So, like, do you wanna come back to the same thing?
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, so enjoy it so you can go and then go live another world somewhere.
Yeah. Well, at least for you, I mean, that was definitely your calling, right? Like you started to recognize I can't do this.
Yeah.
And no judgment to other people. Sometimes we just don't know what we don't know, and we need those people actually to be in those 35-year positions so that
Mhm.
free souls like us can go off and be the free spirits we need to be. So no judgment to anyone else, but for you, you had to live this life that felt on from what I hear is you wanted to live with purpose, you wanted intentionality behind your life, you wanted it to be impacting other people's lives in
Yeah.
hopefully positive ways, and it sounds like it has. So you went to massage school and here you are. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what you did you said Reiki, massage, coaching, it sounds like you're doing a bunch of things. You coulda stuck with that, stayed with that. It sounds like you have a really great concierge women's what is it called? Luxury by Luna, right? Is
It's
your
called,
brand?
like, Wellness by Luna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so, we met and that when we met, what, 4 we decided it was 4 years ago that we met.
Yeah.
You'd already started your company, Luxury by Luna, and it's successful from my perspective. I who am I to label it though? So why would you even think about adding on Chinese medicine and acupuncture to that?
Think that it was just building blocks that I need to know. I'm somebody that, like, when I get into something, I have to know everything about it, and I want to know from the source. So, like, I'm gonna go get the education behind it. So I felt like if I'm gonna do this whole thing, I need to also know alternatives for somebody because I was somebody that going through the healthcare system, I've had horrible experiences through ever since I was 14 for my first gyno visit. Like it's been horrible. So just realizing like you don't have to go through that. And there's so many other things that are available for you. And so many people don't know.
Yeah,
Like people really don't know that they have other options to just life in general.
for
And
sure.
I realized that in college, like, and when I lived in Philly, like, the structure of life that I noticed that some people had there, it was you get through school and then you find a job and that's it, and then you have kids and then that's it. And I'm like, "No, there's so many other things that are like, you have a huge world of so many things you can do. You can find out about so many careers. You don't have to just go work at a department store. Like you don't it just a lot of people don't realize they have so many options to life and health in general. Like you don't have to take the first opinion. Like you don't have to you can have your own view of how you want your life to be and you can find resources to help you.
Yeah. Sounds like you're talking about having some autonomy or having some agency in your healthcare, not just being passive person where people are doing things or telling you to do things and just saying, yes, yes, I'll do this. But
Yeah.
you're really speaking to that. Each of us has the opportunity to be part of our healthcare journey or our healing path. And like you've said already, and I completely 100% agree, I feel very disappointed by what my doctors and practitioners know about women's health. Feel very let down. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
rageful, let's be honest, but I try to like simmer that.
I agree. I agree, and it's sad. I feel like it's disgusting, to be honest, and I'll just share my experience. I had, like, a really bad period, so I was like, "I need help. Let me see what's going on. I feel like my body's been really sensitive lately, like, can I, like, look into it?" So I just went to my regular physician, and they're like, "You know what? I'm just gonna take ibuprofen 3 times a day for a week." Why though? Just because she's like, "Just right before your period, and then you'll be fine." And I'm like, "No, I told her I would rather not take medication like that. It doesn't do well for my system." And she's like, "Well, just try it for me so then we could see if" and I'm like, "Try it for you?" Like, it's just odd. And somebody that doesn't have the education that I know that I can find another solution for this will just be like, "Okay." And nothing will get better. And I fought this battle of advocating for myself for this birth control, and I had a horrible experience with birth control. I realized that my body just doesn't accept it, and it's not for me, and it's okay. Some people it works for, it just wasn't for me, and I feel like I had to, like, fight tooth and nail so that I would be allowed to not have it. I tried the Nexplanon, that almost ended my life. I was bleeding for over a year,
My God.
and they wouldn't listen to me. Every time I would go, they'd be like, "Oh, give it another 3 months. It'll regulate, like, it'll regulate." And then when I was like, "You know what? I don't want it." And then they're like, "Well, if we're taking it out, then you need to get on the IUD because you shouldn't not be on birth control." And so I was just like, "I don't want anything." And I felt like I had to fight to get them to leave me alone about birth control. And even still now, they're like, "You haven't taken it in a few years." I haven't been on birth control in over like 5 or 6 years now. And my body is doing incredible, incredible. It's just this like last instance, but like everything has been regulated since. Everything's on time. I know what's going on because I've been paying attention. But every time I go there, it's just like they always try to push it and be like, "No, you need to get on it because you're this age and this age, and so this is what." Yeah, and it's like, "Whoa, I'm trying to tell you that this doesn't agree with me," and you're trying to be like, "I hear you, but you should do it because you're a 35-year-old woman, and this is what you need at this age." And just they're just based on that, and it's odd to me.
That is so odd. I
Yeah.
can feel myself getting so pissed off right now for you. Um,
Ugh.
well, thank
It's
goodness you have taken the agency
mhm.
to know you have options and to advocate for yourself and to, like, set that boundary. You're like, "I'm not doing this for you. This is my
This
body."
is my body, yeah, and they just tell you, "Well, women your age, this is what they're doing." And I get that for, like, your research, but it's not me right now, and I
Yeah,
feel like what we do in Chinese medicine is that we listen to you right now. Like, what are you experiencing right now that I can help you with, not what women your age should be doing.
yeah, yeah. I am so sorry you had that experience. I mean, I'm not that person, so it's weird that I'm apologizing. I'm going through the exact same thing right now. Like,
Yeah.
I had a surgery a year ago, and, in all the workup, they said I had both my fallopian tubes removed or for,
Mhm.
like, personal preventative. I don't need to go into history, but it was my choice. I had that conversation with my OBGYN. We were both in agreement. It happened, and nowhere did they talk about postoperative pain because 'cause they're like, "Oh, this is an easy one."
Mhm.
But ever since then, I've had, like, back to when I first started menstruating pain.
Oh my god.
I have worked so hard with Chinese medicine and acupuncture to regulate my cycle, and I was like pain-free periods, and it was amazing. And then here we are again, and I'm just like, what is going on? I went back to them just to make sure they like all the instruments were out of me, just the basic. But that's what I was told. They're like, well, just take ibuprofen. And I was like, I understand that ibuprofen can work and probably will work and does work, but I also want to know, why did it come back? Why did my period pain come back?
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Well, it just happens to some people." And I'm like, "That's our answer? Like, that's the end of the road?" And it is. That's the end of the road. So I've had to then, like, scientifically try to figure out for myself, yes, Chinese herbs are helping. Yes, acupuncture is helping. But what I've actually figured out just because of the awareness of my own body is I have adhesion in there, like interior scar tissue.
Mm.
And the only way I can tell, without imaging or going into surgery, because the option for adhesion is another surgery to go in there and break it apart. I'm not going to do that. But anytime I do my lateral side stretches, especially like a warrior two or a virabhadrasana B, where I'm stretching or like a trikonasana, a triangle, it feels like my insides are ripping apart. And I tried to tell this to the OBGYN and she was like, well, the ultrasound didn't show anything. She's like, you're probably not feeling that. And I was like, "What?"
Like, they try to convince you that you're not seeing
Yeah.
that.
Come to find out in my own research, a lot of adhesions don't show up necessarily on an ultrasound. So it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with that again. It's like just another layer of I've been down a medical path before. I was disappointed once. I was
Yeah.
hopeful. It was and I learned my lesson. I went into Chinese medicine. Thank goodness, giving myself options. And I was so hopeful because I love this doctor. Like truly think eye to eye, heart to heart. She sees me. And here
Mhm.
we are at the same dead end. And I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much about women's health that I'm just so excited for you. I'm so happy that you chose to learn more about Chinese medicine and acupuncture as part of this journey of understanding the why, because you're already helping so many women in your community and it's just going to grow. It's
Yeah.
just going to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, like see, like, somebody else in your experience that doesn't know they have options will just be like, "Okay, then I guess now I'm a person in pain forever."
Yeah.
And then you just start to carry it like it's normal,
Yeah.
and that just alone will never regulate your nervous system, ever, because you have to carry that every day. And then it just becomes normal, like, that you just have this random pain here and there.
Yeah. And that's so true. Like every time our body experiences the pain and everyone has different pain thresholds, but when we feel that, our body goes into protection mode. It goes into that fight or flight. Pain is such an important part to pay attention to. And yet, in many ways, there are few options for a lot of people unless they're willing to look at things like acupuncture or
Yeah,
Chinese medicine, herbs, massage, Reiki.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so many people don't understand that it's accessible to regular people, and it's not just like a rich upskill thing that people do just for fun.
Yeah.
It's how we're supposed to be living. People are supposed to be doing these practices every day with their families to make sure that they grow up and it continues.
It's true. A lot of what you're learning, I bet well, I know because I went through the program
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's changed a lot, but let's talk about that. I'd love to get your perspective on what it's like to go through acupuncture and Chinese medicine school. So I'm wondering if you could just share, like, you said you're 2 years into it. You still have 2.5 more years. That sounds about right. You just finished your
yeah,
first year comps. So you
mhm,
still have two more to take plus board
yeah.
exams. So you're kind of right at the beginning. How are you feeling? Like, what is Chinese medicine school like for you?
It's been like a shit show. I would say that. Like,
That sounds about correct. You're right
yeah,
on point, right on
it's been
time.
like, "What?" I've been saying like, "What?" Until one day it's like, "Oh, okay. Things are okay." 'Cause you're learning a bunch of random things, and initially your brain tries to compare it to Western medicine immediately and tries to find the common ground there, but you can't because it's not that at all. So, you have to deconstruct yourself first before you can absorb that information.
So true. That I've never
Yeah,
heard anyone say that, but you do. You have to deconstruct yourself. You have to deconstruct
yeah.
unless you grew up with this paradigm, I guess you right? Like
If you grew up
people
with it, it makes sense. You already have that lingo, like, you know what to say, but I realized even the questions that I asked before that now I'll be like, "Oh, so what herb would I take for, like, menstrual pain?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't work like that." Because now when people ask me, "Oh, I have this, what should I take?" And I'm like, "I don't know because I don't know anything about you." So, just that part alone, it changes a lot, and I'm like, "I have to know a bunch of things about you before I can tell you that this would be good for you."
yeah. Have you noticed that students, when they ask the teacher a question like that, well, what herb would be good for this or what point would be good for that? The teachers always answer, "It depends."
Mhm. It
Yeah.
depends, and, like, you can name a few herbs that would cover that area, but also it depends. It
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
And I've had to go through the herb journey because 'cause I'm restudying it from before since we're about to do herb comps, and I was like, I didn't even grasp this in the class." And because the class is just like, we're trying to pass these tests and we're trying to, like, memorize as much as we can. But I think going back to study for something like comps and stuff lets you do it at your own pace where you're actually like, "Oh, okay." And also being in clinic has helped to realize how to put the text to the person,
Right. What you're
and
learning, the
I
theory to
realized
an actual real person.
a lot of people have the same issues, and most of it just is basically how you live your life,
Yeah.
and I've noticed that the people that do well really take in what we're saying and realize it's not a magic pill, and when people realize like, we had a patient, it was an older man. He would come for, his leg pain or something, and we would fix it, and we'd be like, "Okay, out of 10, how do you feel?" Like, after the treatment, he'll be like, "Oh, I feel no pain, nothing." And then he would come back the next week and be like, "It never didn't work." But when you left, said you it was a 0 out of 10. Well, every time he would forget that it was like, it worked, and I'm like, "It took you 30 years of this injury, but you expect acupuncture to fix it after your first treatment." But, like, you don't expect that from your Western doctor when they say something, like, you're like, "Okay, I'll work with you and do all your trials and stuff." But for us, it's like, it didn't work when I came, and so you just shut it down and that's it, and I noticed that from being in clinic. And I'm like, "Okay, but it took you 10 to 15 years to put yourself in this situation, so why do you think 1 hour is gonna take away that many years?" It just that doesn't, like it
Yeah.
doesn't we're not grasping that part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and it seems unfair that I hear what you're saying. I'm sure there's a there's a term for this where it's like their trust, like you said, if you've it's taken 30 years, you go to your allopathic, your Western medical provider, and they're willing to work with them, even though they have very few solutions
Mhm.
except pain medication and or surgery.
Yeah, all this
But
trial
then
and error with medication.
when they try to seek out, I mean, this guy's not being forced to come in the clinic. He's
Mhm.
actively choosing to come in the clinic, but then is completely changing the mindset and his own expectations of working together with a medical provider, be
Yeah,
it you and or the supervisor, and he wants instantaneous healing.
and
Like,
it to last
that's, like,
forever, and I'm like,
absolutely
"No."
unrealistic. It's so
Yeah, he's like,
unrealistic.
"It lasted for a couple days and now it hurts again." And I'm like, "Well, because you have an injury that's been consistent for a long time." Like, why is it gonna be fixed in 1 hour?
People really do want a quick fix, though.
Mhm.
Culturally, that's what we've been sold is the 7-minute abs, right? Like, there's always something quicker and faster, and so they come in with their expectations, patient expectations are, "Well, you're the medicine doctor, or you're the one with power and authority and all these cool or fancy tools. Fix
Mm,
me."
yeah.
Like, "Fix
And I've
me"
seen
mentality
people,
doesn't
like,
work.
go against the practitioners, like, to try to make it like a game, and I've noticed that I'm like, "Why are you going back and forth with this doctor when you don't go back and forth with your other doctor?" It's just they'll be like, "Oh, try this," and you'll be like, "Okay." And then they'll be like, "Well, how about you start sleeping at this time, you start eating these things, let's try these herbs and stuff," and I'd be like, "Well, that's doing too much." So, then they start to question, like, "How do you know? Like, if you know so much, why don't you tell me this?" Like, it's just how the respect for it isn't there yet. Yeah, it's not there yet. But it will be there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while for people's perspective and paradigm to change and realistic expectations to come in play. But just the fact that you're maybe they're not taking it on, but you're planting those seeds for those people. You're telling
Mhm.
them, and that is your responsibility as a healthcare provider. It's
Yeah,
like by law, you are required to provide the best information for this person's condition. And I don't think a lot of people understand that Chinese medicine includes all the lifestyle stuff as well. They
it's
just
part
think
of
it's the
it.
needles or they just think it's the herbs and that's it. I'm glad you're having those conversations. Think I was that I don't think I was having lifestyle conversations as an intern, and you're probably not even an intern yet, are you?
No, no, I'm an assistant. I'm about to be assistant 1. Yeah, I take semesters off of clinic because honestly, it's a lot.
Yeah.
The energy of seeing people every day for me, especially because somebody that can absorb so much energy, and I kinda see what's going on with people, I found it overwhelming sometimes, and I felt like, "Okay, I can't do this every semester." Like, to see this many people back and forth, it was really draining to me, and I had to figure out how to reground myself for just clinic so that I would feel like, "Okay, I can come back every day and not feel like, whoa, I don't wanna be here with these people anymore.'"
Do you have a teacher or someone in clinic you can have this conversation with? Because I was the same way too at the beginning.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to learn the skill at some point of how to interact with so many different people, different times, numbers, quantities, etc.
Mhm.
And there are, I mean, think about it in terms of Reiki,
Yeah.
right? And putting up your chi field in many
Yeah.
respects, right? Like that energetic boundary and really allowing that to hold firm. You're not creating a brick wall per se, but this is where energy stops and it doesn't come past that, right? Like you're not going to become a sponge for it. And that's going to be an important skill for you to cultivate
Yeah.
in
I've
these
had
last
to
years.
learn it a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
because when I first started, I was just like, "Whoa," I felt so uneasy all the time, and then a lot of our clinic doesn't have windows, and that also I was like, "I can't even see a tree to be like, 'Give me some energy real quick.'"
Right, right.
Everything is, like, closed in, and so it was I had to go outside a lot, I noticed
Yeah.
my first few clinic shifts, and then I was like, "Okay, I have to figure out how to come here because people are coming to us with chaotic energy
Yeah.
and everything that they're going through, and I have to be able to be grounded enough to help them where it doesn't affect me so much."
Yeah, for sure. And then once you leave school, then it sounds like you're already working with a community of people that you know how your energy responds to. So
Mhm.
it will
Yeah,
change, but it is
yeah.
still a good skill to know just being out there in the world, especially someone who is as sensitive to energy as
Mhm.
you are. I was the same way. And I would remember, I'm like, I'm not a headache person. And then I'd see three people in clinic that day with a headache. And that night I'm at home with
I like
my housemates and I'm like, I've got a headache. Where did I get this
yeah,
headache? Right?
yeah,
Back pain or hip pain. I'm like, I don't have hip
yep,
pain. And why do I have hip pain all of a sudden? Oh, well, I treated two people with hip pain today. That's
yeah,
weird. Like, and people, I'm sure people listening are like, you guys are crazy. Maybe we are. I embrace my crazy all the time now, but now that you're in it and you're experiencing it too, like you're not alone.
yeah.
So many of my classmates had the same thing happen and we would talk about it and we had to learn, like we had to physically learn how to put up those energetic barriers so that we weren't bringing it home with us.
I also realized that it's important while you're in school to have your own type of energetic healing journey because school forces you to do energy work whether you're ready or not. Because what we are doing is energy work. So if you're not ready in your body, it can create a lot of chaos for you. And you're just going through things because we're doing it, your body is responding to it, whether you are or not. And I noticed that from people at school. I think a part of it is that people from school take what they're feeling and turn it to say that they're energy practitioners already and they feel stuff. So then they start like trying to touch people and say that they can do things and it's dangerous. And I noticed it and I was like, oh no, like you guys, it's a little dangerous because if somebody just trusts you, you can create chaos for someone else
Yeah.
because you're not processing what you're also going through.
Yeah, you can definitely dysregulate other people.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's a good point because a lot of people will say, "Well, acupuncture, you can't get hurt with acupuncture." And I'm
You
like,
can,
"Yeah, you can. Exactly.
you
Yeah."
really can.
That's why otherwise, if you couldn't hurt people with acupuncture, you wouldn't have to go to a 4-year program like you're at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so candid about school. I'm wondering, is there anything you wish people knew about acupuncture and Chinese medicine education?
You're learning material, but you're also learning about yourself. And so you're learning a lot of things. And eventually it'll blend where it makes sense about what you're doing in your life. Like your life is going to change whether you like it or not. It's going to change because, like I said, we are doing energetic work. And whether people want to believe it or not, we are energetic beings and we're consciousness. So we're always receiving, no matter if you're accepting it or not. So that takes a big part in how you accept this program, like to just go to the school because you can avoid it. I believe you can avoid it, and it's gonna make you a different person. And if you're ready, like just to stay how you were before it, you're gonna have a really hard time.
Have you noticed that there's some of your classmates who are having serious health, like it's well, not just health, but kind of like going to school has put them into the fire of transformation? Like they weren't
Mhm.
expecting it, and so they're either
Yeah,
having health challenges or things in their life, their relationships are being shaken up.
are just spiraling.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
life goes
I can
spiraling.
see it. Like I can see it. Have the ability to see that before they do. So I observe people a lot, and I don't talk to too many people at school unless it's necessary, but I just observe people's journeys a lot. And so when people first got to school with boyfriends and things like that, I know it's not gonna work. Like I'm not gonna say anything. And then later on they'll be like, "We broke up," and all this stuff. And I was like, "Yeah." Because you have to choose yourself in this program. You have to choose yourself. And until it's over, you have to choose yourself.
So, do you mind sharing with people, listeners, like what does a week at school look like in terms of like, number of classes, how many hours in that class,
Mhm.
clinic,
Yes.
homework,
Typically, classes are 3 to 4 hours,
and how
and
many
sometimes
classes a week do you have?
I have 5 right now. I just finished a few. I had 6, so that ended early, and so, like, Tuesdays are my busiest days. I have 2 4-hour classes on Tuesdays,
Okay.
and I have, like, an hour in between them, and then after that, it's, like, studying. I still have to study for comps every day to make sure that I could pass it at the end of this month next month. So, I'm learning new information, and right now, since we are an Eastern medicine school, we still, for America's regulations, we have to understand Western medicine. So I'm learning bioscience there too. So we have to grasp that and also be able to remove it from Chinese medicine so that we understand that section too. So it's a lot of chaos, but um it took me 2 years to come up with a schedule that works for me. That makes sense. It took me that long because I was just all over the place forever, because before this, I did my MBA, and that was very easy compared to this, and I thought that was so hard.
That's so good to know.
Yeah, I really thought it was hard, but that was so easy as in, like, problem answer situation.
Right.
And for us, we're not a problem answer school. It's like a problem, suggestions, options, maybe answers, trials. So and then
Expected to come up with the right answer and
no
all that.
answer at the end of it, but we have to go through the channels before we come up with that part so you can help somebody. So that's what I didn't come in knowing. I was just like, "Oh, I'll just memorize this and then there'll be an answer. Fine." Like, I could do that. I've always been good at school that way. But no, it was a big culture shock. I would say. It's a big culture shock, and just me as, like, a Black woman in this environment learning a whole new language. I don't know Chinese, but I know so many Chinese words right now, like, so it's just taking that and applying it to my life and just learning in general. My schedule is insane. It's insane. The amount of work I have to do on the back end to, like, I have to teach myself how I learn after school teaches me. Cause in school, I can't absorb it like how people absorb it. I have to just take the notes, come back, and then re-explain it to myself the way I can listen and absorb it. So
Yeah.
then I can, like, actually know what we're talking about. And that takes a lot of time. So that's all my time.
I remember, I think my friends and I did the math once, and for every class hour, we had about an hour to 2 hours of homework
Mhm.
every week. So it ended
Yeah,
up being about 60 to 80 hours
yeah,
of school time in class and then homework per week just to
yeah.
stay on top of things.
Yeah, doing research assignments, PowerPoints, group projects,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing that I truly dislike about school. I'm somebody that I prefer to just do it. Let me do it the way I see it, and I'll do it exactly the way. But when you have to take in other people's learning styles and also how they absorb information, it's hard to
Yeah.
deal with. And, like, just people slacking in general. And it's important before this school that people actually don't just start from, like, no schooling to this. I feel like you have to have your bachelor's, maybe a master's. You have to know how to critically write. You have to know how to speak. Like, you have to know certain things that you would know in, like, just corporate settings before you jump into this program. I think that's important.
Maybe one of these days I can get an admission officer to come on and talk to us about what they're telling students to.
They're like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "I only want to do cosmetic. I don't wanna do any other type." They're like, "Oh, that's fine. You could just do the cosmetic, and you just have to after 2 years, then you could just take those classes." They never explained that I have to learn about all the other parts of healthcare before I can get to the cosmetic, and that's just an add-on. Like, that was never no,
They didn't talk to you about comps, they didn't talk about time commitment?
it was
Wow.
just like, "Oh, you can do it." It's like, it was just Yeah, we have so many things. There's so many resources to help you. So many people get through it. It's like they made it seem like it wasn't a difficult program at all. Like it was very like vanilla. It was very like beautiful and they're like, you're just gonna have support, everything is interactive, we're hands-on. Like I'm like, wow, but no. You really have to have your own discernment and you have to teach yourself a lot.
Yeah.
You do.
And it's hard. That's the thing that I don't think people understand. It's hard.
Yeah.
The amount of memorization you have to do and the amount of synthesizing, like you said, Western medicine doctors don't have to learn Chinese medicine and
Yeah.
Western medicine. They
That's
just
what
learn
you have to
Western
learn both.
medicine. Acupuncturists in Chinese medicine schools, you have to learn Chinese medicine and Western medicine because the responsibility is on the licensed acupuncturist and Chinese medicine doctor or practitioner to do that integration and communication and translation. Yeah, I get really mad now that I'm doing policy work when other practitioners like chiropractors or physical therapists or athletic trainers, they're like, they just work with chi, they don't know science. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, well, let's time out here. If you wanna use an acupuncture needle, why don't you go to acupuncture school and we'll have this conversation later? Because
Mhm.
if we don't know science and we don't know Western medicine, you need to just keep your mouth shut until you go through the
No,
schooling."
it's true. It's true. I've had a physical therapist tell me that they do needling too, just like acupuncture, and I was like, "Okay." I
You
guess
might use a needle, but not like an acupuncturist
not
because
like
30 or 50 hours of training is not the same as 2,500 hours of
yeah,
training in
no.
California or like
No,
1,900
that's
hours in
not to
Virginia.
even put anybody else's profession down. It's just like this is the rigorous part of this part. It's like all the studying that you have to do to know both sides of the spectrum
Exactly.
is insane.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm just like, "How do they expect me to learn this right now?" Like, we have months, and you have to, like, as much as you can because you have to pass, and if you don't pass, you're not moving forward. So, you have to get it and just be able to apply it and go.
Yeah, you have to be wicked smart. I still stand by this. Some of the most brilliant minds that I know are Chinese medicine practitioners.
Mhm.
The way your brain has to work is very, very, very different than how we were raised in, like, public
Yeah.
school system in America. So, yeah. Well, I'm so grateful for you. I'm looking at time.
Yeah.
Can we do
Yes, I made notes for my rapid
You
fire.
did? Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received?
I would say I met this lady in LA in the bathroom one day at, like, a random hotel, and she was just doing her makeup, and I went and I was, like, looking in the mirror after, and she was like, "Not everybody has it, but you do, and you need to do something about it." And I was like, "What?" But that has stayed with me. I don't know, like, lady who wherever you are, kudos to you because that has stayed with me forever. Because when I first moved to California, I met this random lady in the bathroom and she told me that.
It's like an angel. She was just
Yes!
there for you. I love it. What's the worst advice you ever received?
This is from a family member, was to focus on getting a husband.
Wow. Okay, what book or show has your attention right now?
I've been watching Shrinking on Apple TV. It's about, like, a therapist. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I think it's like a funny show. It's about a therapist that is, like, grieving, and then it comes up with, like, all the scenarios about how he does therapy. He's, like, all in therapy, and, like, all the other therapists in his network. It's a nice show.
Good, I'll have to check it out. What
Yeah.
is the most mystical thing about you?
I would say it's my intuition. I don't just sense it, I feel it and I trust it, and it guides me so well.
What is the one thing you thought when you started school that's different now? When I say school, acupuncture, Chinese medicine school.
I would say now I trust myself differently. I used to feel like I had to just do everything on my own, and I was just very independent in that way, and I feel like now I understand the power of support and alignment and how timing works with everything, and that's really helped me in this journey.
Beautiful. What's challenging you these days?
Herbs, Chinese medicine herbs. It's so humbling and it's so deep and layered, and so that's all that's circling all day.
I graduated in 2010 and they're still humbling me, just so you know. Who or what inspires you?
I would say like badass women inspire me. Like women who always choose themselves. Like just don't don't even try to fit in anywhere. And I'm just gonna live unapologetically. So I feel like those women are what's gonna change our whole frequency.
Yeah. Well, you're one of them.
Yes.
You're one of them. Finish the sentence. Be the type of person who.
Be the type of person who naturally attracts abundance because of how you think, move, and care for yourself.
Final question. What's your one wish for healthcare?
I would say that it's centered in like true healing, addressing the root issue and not just managing symptoms, like actually healing people.
Well, thank you so much, Luna, for being on Yinspired. What a gift to have you on. I know it's taken us a while to align our
Yes.
schedules. You are the busier one by far. I remember what it's like being in school. So thank you so much. Do you have any online social medias, websites you'd like to share to have people go to if they're interested in finding your work in San Diego?
Right now, I just have my business page, Luxury Wellness by Luna, there. And also I have Instagram, Living Luna Wellness, but you can message me on there. I don't post anything really anymore, but I have over 600 videos on there already of so many things that I put out. I'm all about self-care and confidence for women. So if you want, you can email me and we can discuss it. I'm all about that. So I like one-on-one type of um conversations because I feel like I really get to see the person that they are. So if feel free.
But don't send too many messages because
So,
she's at school and she doesn't have the time.
of course, yeah,
Sorry.
I understand.
That's like the mom and me coming out like, let my baby finish her work. She's got to focus right now.
I have a 2-week break coming up soon. At the end of April. Message me in there.
Yeah. Or hopefully you're going to take a vacation or a staycation.
I will. I definitely take time to give myself those rest times because
Good.
it's so important.
Well, thank you so much. I'll make sure to have all of that in the show notes so it's easier for people to
Yes,
reach out
I
to you.
really appreciate you reaching out to me. I really do. And I feel like you're such a blessing. Ever since the day I met you, I was like, this lady is awesome. I just felt you from even the screen. And I felt like you're really inspiring and I really appreciate you.
Oh, well, likewise. It didn't even occur to me to this moment. We've never met in person.
Yes, that's true. And I feel like I know you so well. We've done yoga, meditations.
It really is mind blowing to me. I feel like I've known you my whole life. So we must be coming from the same soul family.
Yes,
So when you
for real,
see
we
it, you
are.
see it. Well, thank you, my love.